welcome to Midnight Slumber. I am your host, Zach Miller. Join me as we take a journey through the alternate realities that take place after midnight. Our first story deals with being homesick. There have been times where I personally have been so busy with work that I haven't seen anyone for weeks or months. It's a weird and lonely feeling and can be overwhelming sometimes. Maybe you've felt the same way too. I think this story speaks to the joys that can come from it, as well as the loneliness. Here's the story, Dark Tornado. The sky is an amazing shade of blue, with fluffy white clouds that are slowly floating through the air. Power lines, dirt roads, and farmlands scream by underneath me as I pilot my jet across the sky. The trees passing by are a deep green, and every crop in the field is full, ready to be picked. At this low altitude, I can see all kinds of detail. Cars on their normal commute, kids playing basketball in the nearby school, and cows grazing on the other side of the highway. My brother and a few friends pull beside me in their own jets, waving. We are a squad, and they are telling me it's time to come in and land. Time to go home. Ah, home. That's something I've been missing for years. A smile brands itself across my face. The group radios me saying we must hurry, that our families will be there soon. We bank to the right, zooming past the last bit of farmland. The sea lies before us, and it is a friendly dark blue. Our aircraft carriers docked just off in the distance, waiting for us to come in. We are quickly approaching and decide to make a quick passover, giving our families a show, greeting them as they eagerly await to greet us. Passing by, we tilt our wings and roll, which apparently causes time to slow, allowing me enough time to see the train shuttling off crowds of families. In one particular crowd, I spot my girlfriend, and she looks more beautiful than I have ever seen her. She is wearing a blue dress, and I catch her looking up at me with an intoxicating smile. Now, I am more excited than ever to land. Pulling out of the roll, we start circling back around. We swing wide to the left looking for a better approach. We notice that just off to our left is an oil rig. So, we circle around it and make sure nothing suspicious is going on. It is a big red and yellow rig, vibrant at that. It must be new. As we circle around, we notice that there are no signs of damage or oil leaks. Everything seems to be fine. We continue onward. The landing strip is long enough and wide enough for all of us to land on approach, yet something feels wrong. The air begins to shift and twist. Some pilots quickly dive and manage to make the sketchy landing, but I am unable to. Looking over at my brother, we know it is impossible to land. I look down to see my girlfriend's face now filled with worry. A loud sound catches my attention and I look up. There is a massive tornado forming, pulling in all the light around it like a black hole. My jet begins to spin out of control, tumbling towards this dark tornado. My brother radios over, telling me to pump my thrusters. I try. I even lay them on at full blast, and nothing works. I am unable to pull away or regain control. He stays with me, trying to catch up in hopes that somehow he can pull me out. He gets the hook ready and tries to get close, but it's too late. I am being pulled into the darkness. I see him pull away at the last second. He avoids being pulled in with me, and I am filled with relief for him. But I am also terrified as to what might just be ahead for me. For a moment, I am weightless. Everything is completely dark, and I can still hear the roar of the winds. A strong gust of wind forces me upward. Warning lights and sounds go off, muting the wind as I rapidly ascend. Some flashes of lightning illuminate all the other debris around me. Pieces of buildings fly by, banging against the hull, Within seconds, I am launched out of the top and I am greeted by the sun in its full glory. There are stars all around me, shining brighter than ever outside my window. The earth is below me, and I am in space, alone. The tornado is gone, and so is everyone I know. I am to be here forever. This next one is strange. I wasn't really sure what to make of it when my subconscious brought it to my attention. I think it has something to do with being left out and trying to work as a team. Working as a team can be rewarding. Other times it's chaotic and just you doing everything. This next story is called Dark Portal. I guess this episode's stories have the word dark in all of them, so I guess that's the theme for this episode. Dark. My brother and I are sprinting down a metallic hallway. Red and yellow lights are flashing with an urgency, guiding us where we need to go. We see a group of people at the end of the hallway. They are standing in a doorway which opens into a massive room lit with purple and red neon lights. As we stop and gather with the group, I notice the black armor with the blue lighting that my brother and I are wearing. The other contestants are in a similar outfit, but they all have a different set of colors. It's hard to tell how many teams there actually are. Also, there are a few people on our team, but I do not recognize them, and neither does my brother. The room is filled with debris of all kinds of electronics. Stairs wind throughout, leading to ledges which just drop back into the room. There are long tables and pillars that have been broken or fallen over. A giant TV screen spans one side of the room, and electrical cords run throughout. A booming robotic voice echoes through the room, speaking to all of us.
Each of you must collect 3 orbs in order to activate your portal. Not all of you will make it through. Then, you must find one another to survive. Begin.
I hesitate, thinking, that's it? But before I can ask a question, everyone disperses in different directions. I join in, running along the wall filled with the massive TV. The TV is reddish and metallic, playing what I believe to be an aerial view of the action. The room is massive. It must be miles wide as I look upon the map that's being displayed. We come across a pile of cardboard boxes. I don't know why, but I stop to dig through them. My brother continues on, heading to the far corner of the arena. Another player rushes over and digs through as well. I am frantically trying to find an orb before they do. Grabbing another box, I tear it open. A green glowing orb floats inside and I grab it, stuffing it in my pocket. My sixth sense tells me there are no more in this pile, so I move on. I rush over towards my portal and see an old record player laying on top of a desk that has been ripped apart. I lift the damaged glass lid and underneath is another orb. I am excited to have found another so quickly, but a combatant rushes by me and I can see that they have 2 orbs already. I run over to my portal and start to head up the stairs that are to the left of it. I catch a glimpse of something glowing in a pile of broken robots next to the stairs. Jumping down, I dig through the hunks of metal and circuitry. Another player runs by me, rushing to find anything, as I can see they have nothing. They look scared, no, terrified of losing. I could feel the fear pouring out of them. What about this is so terrifying, I wonder? I hear a clinking sound come from the pile. I look down in its direction and see the last orb on the floor. I put it with the others in my pocket. I study the broken robot I was just sorting through and notice black burn marks. Pieces of it look to have been crushed and pulled apart. There is also what look to be rough, jagged cuts across different spots of it. I know this dead robot has more of a story to it than I know, but I don't have time to figure it out. I step over to my portal, which is just a few feet away, and throw the pieces onto the platform. They float up and the portal opens. I breathe a sigh of relief. I know I am lucky to have had everything be so close. The portal is a mix of purple and black. It spins and hums with an anger to it. I jump through, not knowing where it goes or if I am the first combatant to make it through. I land onto a concrete floor outside. I am surrounded by broken concrete pillars as the sun is almost fully set. Gunfire and explosions are happening off in the distance. I take a few steps forward and I see a giant hulking figure walking around in front of me. I duck behind a pillar, hoping it hasn't seen me yet. I now know what tore that robot apart. I look through a crack in the pillar, trying to get a better look. The figure is made of a dark rock material. It has thick horns coming from its head, and it radiates heat. The air around it is being distorted and destroyed. I look around trying to see if there is any way to get out of here. There is no path behind me, only my portal and a drop off into nothing. I turn back around looking ahead again. There is a path to the left and a small broken hallway leading to a green field ahead. I don't see any other option, but I also don't see the monster anymore. Where is this creature? Where did it move to? I shift my weight, getting ready to head to the path, ignoring my fears. A growl rumbles through the air. Looking back through the crack, I see the creature. It is smelling for me. It catches my scent and looks right at me. Its dark purple eyes begin to glow red. The creature rushes forward, smashing through barriers, turning them into dust. I take off, sprinting down the hall. Other small creatures begin to pour out of the holes and cracks. One jumps at me and I barely manage to dodge it. The concrete hall is barely lit and longer than I thought. I can see the grass field ahead quickly approaching. I shoot through the doors, now sprinting across a small hilltop. There is a giant tree in the middle of this hill, and a few small pillars that have fallen off to the right. I duck behind them, trying to hide. On the ground is a skeleton with a knife in its chest and a shotgun next to it. I remember the combatants and wonder, how long has this game really been going on? Did my brother make it through? I am quickly snapped back to reality with the sound of booming footsteps approaching. I grab the shotgun, a bullet belt, and a med pack that the skeleton was carrying. There are only 4 bullets left on the belt. I look up and see way more than 4 lanky humanoid rock creatures coming my way. They are snaking towards me, and the big beast bursts out of the end of the hall, causing it to collapse behind it. I can't go back. There is a ledge behind me which slopes down at least 100 feet. A tunnel is underneath and I see people come running out. My brother is one of those people and he is chasing someone. I quickly look back and see the creatures are now just a few feet away. Without hesitation, I jump over the ledge and slide down the grassy slope. Picking up tremendous speed, I see a vehicle shoot out of the tunnel and speed down the cobble road after my brother. I land, coming off the hill, and stumble to my feet. A bright light forms around me, coming from the inside of this tunnel. Everyone in the distance vanishes, and I am swallowed by the light. If you'd like to leave a comment, find out more about this show, or just say how much you hate spiders, check the links in the description. I'm your host, Zach Miller, and thanks for listening. Have a good midnight slumber.